right, all right. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. What's up? What's up? How you guys doing? Title Tuesday. This is for the month of April. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome. We got a big show coming up, and I'm very happy to be commentating. I haven't been commentating or playing, it feels like, in Title Tuesday for a while. So this is my reintroduction, and it looks like it's going to be an extremely, extremely strong one today. I see Naka is already registered. I see Firuja is registered. I see Grishuk. I see Nepomniachtchi. I mean, that's already to me up there with one of the some of the strongest uh, Title Tuesdays that I've ever seen. That's for sure. So yeah, welcome, Grandmaster Mon Hamilton here. Hello, hello. We obviously just had a pretty big fun stream, the Pro Chess League, and I think I saw the end of that one. We had Jorg Meyer, I guess, just on the broadcast who sort of brought it home for the snowballs. So that was a lot of fun to watch. And luckily today the show just kind of keeps going. The show keeps going. I got the chat open, so definitely say hello. Let me know who your favorite players are in the tournament, who you might want me to check out or follow. Try to bring their games up for you guys. Um, but yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Should be a good stream today. I'm excited. I'm excited. Gakos, hello. I was gonna say Gakos. I saw that. I saw that. I was wondering if you guys saw that. Kind of put me in some negative space here. The hair still prevails even in negative space. That's what's important to remember. That the hint of purple in the hair is still visible, no matter the color overlay. So I think that's the most important thing. Don't worry, guys. You'll still be able to identify me by my hair. I think that's the case. New Jersey Greg, how are you? So yeah, Frank's here in the chat. Chess Gremlin, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Title Tuesday should be a lot of fun today. I got the standings here as well. I can sort of see the type of competition that we're dealing with today. You know, it's going to be real tough. Starts in about 1 or 2 minutes here, and as you can see, Naka leading the way up there at 3185, which is just sick blitz rating. For those that don't know, we got a 10-round tournament here. That's been the standard for recent Title Tuesdays. So 10 rounds, 3+2 time control. So hopefully that means we don't have too many people losing on time, but I don't think that can ever fully be avoided. It happens every month. But yeah, very stacked field right at the top. Scrolling down a little bit, we got Penguin GM in there, Andrew Tang, Yevgeny T. That I guess that's Tomaszewski. These are, I mean, this is an incredibly strong Title Tuesday. I don't know if I don't know if I can say this, but is this like the strongest ever? In some ways, it feels like it is. I'm down to like the 20th place, and I'm seeing like some insanely strong players. We got Esipenko, we got Shimanov, Ray Robson, Iturizaga. I mean, guys, this is crazy. This is crazy. It has just gotten underway, and yeah, let's just jump into the games. Naka, the reigning U.S. chess champion. For those that didn't see, I mean, I don't know if it's possible to even have some of you guys that don't know that by now, but yes, now I've seen this before by Naka. C5 takes Queen A5, and Queen takes. There's Bishop A3. I've seen this trick by Naka like 50 million times. Oh my goodness. It's trademark Hikaru. I think that Eric Hansen has personally fallen for this trick maybe 20 times, 25 times. Uh, it's such a you don't realize it, but you're just losing you're just losing a pawn out of the opening. It's crazy. Naka is so dangerous. He knows these systems inside and out, and yeah, no, Naka already up a pawn. He's playing against GM Joey here. GM Joey from the Philippines, and it's just already off to a bad start for him. Naka's gonna put that knight on d4 and just, I mean, knight d2, rook c1, isolated pawn. Plus he's up a pawn is already huge advantage for Naka. It's crazy. Those little sort of bullet blitz tricks do come in handy. Naka has just been doing this for so long, and people keep falling for it. But yeah, already a great start for Nakamura here. He looks to be doing very well. Who else do we have in here? We got Grishuk. It's nice to see him playing. Nice to see him playing in the Title Tuesday. I think it's always really fun when Grishuk plays. He's kind of a fun guy to watch no matter what happens. Whether he's got 2 seconds on the clock and his opponent has 2 minutes. Happens a lot. The guy's in time trouble pretty often, but it makes it more exciting to watch in a way. So Grishuk is always nice to have in these tournaments. Very exciting player. He's playing at 2500 here, and so is Naka, but Naka was actually playing GM Joey. So Naka got a Grandmaster in the first round, whereas Grishuk got a National Master. But the ratings were so similar. Checking out the rest of the sort of top players here. Firouzja is also competing this week, and I really, again, I don't think I've ever seen so many top players, especially like there's at least 10 Russians over feels like 10 Russians over 2700 who are competing or at least very close. Firouzja here rocking that 3085 rating, which is just crazy. He's second only to Naka, who's pressing 3200, but some huge ratings for these guys. Firouzja here got those 2 bishops. I mean, f5 is a move that springs to mind. I don't know why he's even thinking about it. Maybe he wants to play. I don't know what else he wants to play, actually. f5 looks like a definite move. Oh, it's not his turn. Well, that explains it. That explains it, guys. No wonder he's not playing it. He's not allowed. It's not his turn. And as soon as it was his turn, no question, f5 on the board. Well, good morning to everyone. As you can tell, I've just woken up. Not actually true, but I wish it was, so that I could use that as an excuse for not even understanding whose turn it was here. Queen d1. Usually black wants to go for h4 is also possible, but g4 is nice because it takes away the square f3 for white's pieces to use, and it starts to entertain ideas of getting the dark square bishop out, and h4 can still happen after that. So yeah, hello to everyone in the chat. Twitch chat I got open here. If you got any favorite players, or if there's some exciting game that you think I should take a look at, like I said, please let me know. Please let me know, and I'll be happy to try to find their game for you. We can see here, I think these bishops are going to come in real handy. After queen takes, I believe rook to c6 is the intended move. We got a 400 plus player tournament right now. Thank you, Marco. A lot of people competing today. Queen c2, I guess we can take now. And there's no queen c6 because the knight is hanging. Probably queen takes d6. I guess he's actually thinking, though, about maybe more forcing moves. Generally, you don't want to play f4 because it hands over the e4 square. But h4 could be considered. Otherwise, it looks to me like queen takes d6 is just a good move. to start with. There we go. I know that Eric Hansen is playing. Yes, streaming over at the Chessbrah channel. So we have some Chessbrah representation in the commentary booth and on the field. Queen f6. And yes, now the move h4 and the move f4, those are going to be some big moves coming up next. d6 is not possible because the knight is hanging. So this does look very, very good. Very, very good for black. Very dangerous to play for white. How is Naka doing in his game? Not the cleanest, I have to say. I mean, still good, but probably not the cleanest. I don't know how the game went. It just seems like those two bishops plus the control of the c file looked good for him earlier, but I think Naka has sort of yeah, I was gonna say this bishop f4 move looks like a blunder. You got to stay defending e7. That looks like too much. Queen e7, and now he's lost actually on the spot. So that's too bad. That's too bad there. It looked to me like there would be maybe some chances with the two bishops there, but allowing queen e7 is too much. Too much. I got my OJ. I got my OJ. c5. There's going to be rook b7. So Naka looks like he's going to win the first round. I see Grishuk has already wrapped up his game. So Naka's got that one. And oh, has there been a queen sack here? Hello. Let's get a replay on that. He did. He pushed all these pawns up the board. This is just real scary here. Takes. And then what a nice little finish there. Queen takes f1. Bishop takes d5 with bishop g2, rook f1 mate, or king g1, bishop e3 mate. I mean, that's not a... if that's round one and we're starting off like this, with these type of games, these type of sacrifices, I'm excited to have 9 more rounds like this because that could already be contender for like game of the event so far. Wow, that's very nice. Queen sack followed by the double bishop and just really every piece for black coordinating and participating in this attack here. So very nice, very nice. Who else do we have here? I see we got Dmitry Andreikin, Vladimirovich here. And with the black pieces, he looks to be taking care. I was going to say rook takes f2 business. You've got 4 connected pawns there, guys. 4. I mean, that's way too much. That is way too much. Yes, Grishuk and Hikaru will be fun to watch. I hope they get to play. No doubt if they keep up their good performances, they will. But yes, this one finishes. How is Andrew Tang doing? I see he's also... Yes, it looks like he's about to win. That is over. Rook takes f7, king h6 is nothing, or king g8. So Andrew also takes the first game. And let's keep looking here for other people to follow. This game looks completely even, but Grigory Oparin is finding that his opponent here is not going to go down so easily. Queen b7. I mean, yeah, this is just, of course, drawn, but black being almost 3,000 wants to try to play on here. But queen back to f6. Don't think he's going to find anything. You have to play king g8 here, really, unless you take. And then queen d8 is going to repeat. So I think we'll get... not that this is a major upset or anything like that, but I think we will get a draw here. King there. Yeah, you just have that check again. So this is going to be a draw. Nice play. Light Rider, Miko is fantastic. Omega Stevie, hello guys. feel free to talk to me in the chat. You know, I get lonely sometimes. Keep me company. We watch these. I'm very happy to be on the sidelines watching these games. Very easy to do. You know, it's less stress. It's not my pieces that are being blundered. It's other people's for a change. So that's nice. Um, let's take a look. The games are wrapping up in round one. The games are wrapping up in round one, and this is a very interesting imbalance here. Rook and two pieces. Rook and two pieces for the queen. I mean, black has to be lost here. Queen b1 or queen b2. A3. I might get worried you're sort of boxing yourself in. King d2. Yeah, I don't like this play from black. He's going to be lost here. Yeah, rook there. Can you take it? No. He starts with bishop check. Now, are we going to get knight check? Is there a checkmate here? Here. Guess it's not exactly. He's going to have to do knight and bishop, I think. Probably has to work a little bit for this. So knight a3 and bishop d3 is one way to just stop the pawn from queening. Okay. Lots of ways to finish this off. I'm wondering what he's going to do. Knight a4? I don't know what he's up to. This looks really poorly played. Okay. So you're going to play knight there and bishop there. I think that's the... What is he doing? This is like 3-time repetition. What? Oh my goodness. This is terrible. This is like awful. 20 seconds. We got 2800 international master that, I mean, of the many ways to win this. I mean, this has got to be one of them. You just stop the pawn from queening, and then just go and collect it basically. And I think that if the king tries to stay there, you just wait with some move, and eventually he's gonna have to, because it's stalemate otherwise. So he's got to go like that, and then you take it, and then from here we would just force the king over to this corner with the standard sort of bishop and knight technique. So that's a miss right there. That is pretty surprising. Let's take a look at the last game in progress here. Also a difficult one to win, but looks like it should be winning for sure. King f7 and king e6. Knight c7 loses, and this probably loses. There's going to be queen a8 here. Queen d7 is mate. Yeah. Yep. That one is over, and I think that was the last game of the first round. And already we've had most of the top players win who were expected to win, and we already had our first sort of like awful technique display. Very often in these Title Tuesday events, you'll see bishop and rook against rook. You'll see bishop and knight against king, and you'll often see some of the craziest time pressure blunders or misses that you'll ever see. And there we go. We already had our first one. We also had our first brilliant game as Firouzja put on a display there with a little queen sack. Queen sack in round one, which is a really nice game. So yeah, we've already had so much happening. Bishop g4. Yeah. This is always a really nice opening to play for black, because you just play e6, maybe h5, knight h6, or knight e7. You take that, play e6. G4, I believe, loses to queen h4. I've seen Naka do this, again, a ton of times. It's very easy to think that g4 works, but queen h4 and then pawn takes is good. So now Naka is going to go h4, look to control the f5 square, whether that's knight h6 to f5 or knight e7 to f5. One of those moves is probably going to happen here. Knight e7, yep. And white's going to try to play c4. Naka's rerouting the bishop to support this pawn here. So if white ever takes, for example, that that pawn on h4 could get pretty weak. So control of the dark squares here, just on the queen side for Naka. Like white would love to play a3, b4, but it's very, very hard to kick that bishop out. Naka's just got a very solid position here, but I can't say that it's anything special. It just structurally looks very, very good. Over here, we've got b5 as an idea, long castle. Even just tucking the king on g7 is pretty common. Who do I have as the favorite? Well, guys, I mean, Nakamura just came off an incredible result, becoming the U.S. chess champion. So it's very, very hard to bet against him, especially in a blitz format where, you know, this is Naka in his element. This is Naka in his element, but he's got some tough competition. So Naka and Grishuk and Nepomniachtchi look to be the big three front runners to me. And we got Firouzja in there, who's always so unpredictable because he can just take anyone out, really. But it's very, very packed at the top of the table. But Grishuk is a very dangerous pick to win. Grishuk, he is capable of beating everybody. When Grishuk's on form, I mean, he can really take people out. He can really take people out. So I would watch out for Grishuk and Nepomniachtchi, the dangerous Russian duo here. All right, so Naka's bring that knight to g6 where it's going to defend the pawn. This is going to sort of tease the idea of a3, trapping the bishop at some point. So I kind of expect Naka to either go for a4 or b6. Bishop e3 will be played, right? And there's a4. So if black can get a position with pawn takes, that would be very good. So instead, he's going to sit that bishop on a5. Probably like run the king here, or I don't think you want it on d7 or c7. Maybe you do, but it's nice and safe on g7, it looks like. But Naka's just playing very fast. I can't say that he has a better position here. The other way to do things is to try to use the g file, although I'm not sure he's going to manage to do that. So rook a7 can defend b7 while still staying on the a file here. There we go. And I think we'll just see like king up, maybe rook over, bring this bishop back to d8, where it's going to guard the pawn as well. Seems good here. Okay, so this is the idea, but then Naka wants to say, all right, rook takes a4, and then rook takes a2, and there's nothing going down on the b file because b8 is covered by the bishop. So if white has the b file, black has the a file, it seems to favor black. It seems to favor black there. Yeah. Ooh. There's something that even I didn't pay attention. Like, the thing is, rook takes b7, rook takes a4 already looked very, very good for black. So I didn't even notice that there was another trick there that Naka had set, which is that you can't even take the pawn, period, because of this rook b8. So now Naka's just winning. This should be game over. Queen's going to infiltrate. Not going to be able to protect everything. Queen d3 hits the pawn as well. So Naka looks like he's totally winning here. Up 2 minutes on time. Yeah, this looks over. Oh, okay, so and then there's going to be knight takes f4 ideas if the rook doesn't move. So you got to move the rook, but then a4 falls. Yeah, it's just everything collapses here in white's position. Everything collapses. Rook b7, queen a4, knight g5. That's the idea. But there's queen d1, and there's nothing happening there. So now knight g5. That's what white wants to play. As long as you attack the bishop, though, it's very hard to see how that's possible. So how does black make a threat? White's trying to say that everything's protected. Black wants to play queen e4, knight takes f4. The thing about queen e4 is it looked like there's some knight g5, like rook c7, maybe some rook takes f7 with knight g5 stuff. King G8. There we go. And I think Naka is probably crashing through here. Knight takes and Queen E2. Should be enough. Or are we going to play C6 here? No, probably doesn't work. King G1 takes and then C6, but I can't imagine that this can hold here. Takes Queen G4 and H3. I think that's a good start. Actually, yeah, it should work because you'll be threatening mate on G2 or something very close. So H3. I don't like this move because that was a checkmate in one. If white played King F2, oh no, King F2, there was Queen takes D4 hitting the rook. Yeah, so then unfortunately it just doesn't work. Yeah, Queen C4, and you pick off this pawn, and then it's just over. Then it's just over. So Naka's gonna win this one. He plays so fast that it always looks like such a one-sided affair. Just take that. Yep, that's a win for Naka there. All right. Who else is playing still? Firouzja is in a tricky game. With a pawn on h7, you have to feel like it's winning. Knight takes d4, and it's over. Yeah, that's over right on the spot there. All right, Grishuk, let's take a look at his game. Swiss Power 96. Not sure who this is myself, but if it's a grandmaster from Switzerland, it probably isn't that hard to figure it out if the name isn't on the profile there. But I don't know, like Yannick Pelletier or Noel Studer. I don't know. There's a few names. Bishop h7. Okay, bishop. Whoa. Whoa. Well, that's a. I want to say that it's a mouse slip, but I'm wondering what the mouse slip would be. Oh, maybe. This doesn't make sense though. Is he scared the pawn is going to promote? I was thinking because rook b5 doesn't look like a good move. It doesn't look like a move that you need to be playing at all. Is he trying to play rook takes b3 and bishop g8 and like try to draw that endgame? I don't know. Because the other thing is, why not bishop here? This move makes so much sense to me, right? There's no way to. You have to move the knight, and then you just play bishop takes. So yeah, doesn't look like a mouse slip to me. Looks like maybe he thought that he was just defending that f1 and totally missed that the knight was attacking that square. Because bishop g8, bishop takes b3 looks like Grishuk would be, first of all, hard pressed not to lose. But yeah, that's a big blunder there. Obviously, rook b4, Grishuk bailed out there. Bailed out big time. I was gonna switch to this game, and then I was like, whoa, okay. Down a queen here. Unfortunately, Simon, for all his ability to attack, he does need his queen. He does need his queen on the board. That's one thing. Hansen is still playing. And Hansen looks like he's about to win. Yes. Hansen looks like he's about to win. Took me a while to understand which way the pawns were going. Looked a little weird at first, but white's going here and black's going there, so black's going to sacrifice next move, and then queen. So Hansen with a victory. He's on 2 out of 2 as well. Let's check out Ray Robson, who is completely lost. Completely lost. Probably just push the pawn. I mean, yeah. Kind of hard to give commentary on something like this, guys. This is just I don't know why he's still playing, actually. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, so his opponent here, Fide Master from Vietnam, is gonna take him out. Gonna take him out. That's a big upset in round 2 here. I'm sure there's been more that I haven't necessarily caught on stream. We had Krikor with the victory. He's on 2 points. And there's not many games left. Not many games left. This one is just going to be a draw. And the other game still ongoing is this one. So let's take a look at this game. Is it winning in any way? Are there any winning chances here? So the knight is just going to jump to any square that's not protected by the bishop and the king, and then end up back on d3. So he has so many squares to jump to: c5, e1. I guess knight c5. And I mean, yeah, how does black make progress? I think it's just impossible. I think this is a dead draw. Dead draw. Okay, knight c1 takes. Oh, that's a free bishop. Oh my goodness. What the hell did I just look at? What? What is this? This is insane. This is so bad. I mean, what? You've got a pawn and a bishop, and you lose. You're up a pawn. Man, that is real painful to watch. That's real painful, guys. That's the end of round 2 right there. I feel like we haven't had a round so far without something kind of major happening. Jeez, that is real. That is real brutal. All right, we're on to round 3, guys. We can't dwell. Let's take a look at Nepomniachtchi. We haven't looked at his games yet. And what line is this? Okay, well, usually black plays h5 after h4. So I'm curious to see what happens here. Yeah, this just looks like, because usually you want to play h6. Don't let that pawn get all the way. If white plays h6, black has to play g6, and then the bishop is coming in. The dark squares are in trouble. Wow. Already a nice position for Nepomniachtchi, it looks like. Queen g3 here looks like a pretty good move. Queen e2 as well. I think I could probably find reasons to play both of those moves here. Taking looks good, but I was wondering whether he was happy with this position. And he's saying yes, that he's still got h6. He's just going to castle, bring the rook to e1. Yeah, and I guess it's just pretty simple still. I think out of the opening there, Nepomniachtchi was just crushing. Just a very, very, very good opening for him. So he's got a nice position here. We have Haru already looks to be in a good position. I wonder who his opponent is. This just looks like, I mean, like, hang on a sec. Can we get a counter on this? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5. 5 times in the opening. I mean, that's too much. That's too much. You've made like 10 moves and half of them are with your knight. That's got to be too much. Hikaru still has to break through somehow, but okay, is he going to play bishop f1, just get the bishop out of the way? Or is there some sort of tempo move that he can do right now? Bishop f1 is the move I would play if I didn't see a forced win here. for some sort of calculation. Bishop g5 is a move. Actually, bishop g5 I would seriously consider, because f6 there might be something with like some sacrifices there. Bishop g5 is looking better and better the more I look at it. Yeah, because bishop e7, there's knight d6, so queen c7 forced, and then yeah, I figured Naka would go for some line here, because you need to. I think if you play bishop f1, black is, I mean, he's just escaping, right? Why can you be moving your knight 5 times and then somehow coming out with a decent position? So knight f5, this looks pretty scary, but you know, does it work? That's the question. There's no knight d6 right now. It doesn't feel like it works, but at the same time, this is blitz. This is not easy. I was just gonna say bishop f4. We got this knight coming into d6. We got this knight coming in. Because I think what he was scared of was if you take that Naka was gonna play knight f6, something like this, and hit the knight and the rook. So yeah, to be honest, that looked kind of scary, but maybe he should have just done it. Maybe he should have done that. Okay, so what did he do? Yeah, okay, well now he's now black, I'm not even sure is better. When am I leaving for Reykjavik? I'll be leaving on Friday. I'll be leaving on Friday, so later this week I will be going to play the Reykjavik Open, which chess.com, as far as I know, is going to be covering. So that'll be fun. Rook swinging over to d3, and that Sonaka does not trade queens. Doesn't want to trade queens, meaning that like if the rook would swing over, in order to deal with that threat, you'd move your bishop away first, but he doesn't want to trade. I think he wants to keep the pressure up. Rook d3, and then yeah, after rook d3, I think you know, bishop a3, stopping black from castling. It's going to be very tough. So rook d3 here, I think without question. Can you castle? Can you castle? I think so. Actually, no. Bishop back, and then when the queen moves, there's rook d7. So that is annoying. Wow. Naka coming out and putting this game together is quite impressive, guys. Very, very impressive game. It looked like I didn't trust his position early on, but he went for some tactics. And yeah, if black has to play knight g6, he's not castling. I think he's in serious trouble here. Queen f3 and rook d1 looks really, really good. I guess this works as well. Oof. No, this doesn't look good. Naka is in some good form. Yeah, there's rook b8 coming. This king, you got to play like f6 or something. But you can't now, because now you take and the rook comes down. Thank you for the 100 bits, Francis Cabral. Very nice. Appreciate the support for the chess.com Twitch channel here. Takes, knight takes, and what? Bishop back or rook b8? Yeah, rook b8. Trying to play king f7 here. Although, it seems like, is black just sort of weaseling out of this? Maybe not completely, but a little bit, right? Okay, maybe there's some queen h5 check. Bishop back, queen h5 check. Rook d8. I was thinking also maybe rook e8 would be possible. Because now the knight is still in a pin. So maybe Naka takes the time here to play like h3 or h4. Hitting the pawn there. Queen b3 possible. Yeah, I think he's just going to take a timeout. There we go. We see the move rook e8. This is why, well, I thought it should have been played before. Takes. I'm not sure about taking that one. Maybe it is good. Here. Rook a8. I think you can play a4. If rook a8, you have E7. Ah, nice move. That's nice, because if the king goes over, you lose all these pawns. If the rook takes, there's rook check, and d7, d8. Nasty. Yeah, d7. Wins. Wow. Very, very nice game from Naka. Again, I don't know about the validity of the opening there. Naka went for some sacks, but they were not easy to refute, and the way that the game went, it looked like Naka was just indestructible in those calculations. Rook f3 takes. Grishuk with a very, very nice position here. Very nice position. If the bishop ever moves, he has the whole 7th rank. The king goes up, bishop e5 wins the game. Maybe check? Okay, he goes for this. I think it should be winning. Takes, you have c5. It should be enough. You don't take that, you just use your rook, and then you clean up all these pawns here. Actually, rook takes e6 can be played. Rook takes e6 could be played there, I think. The endgame would be winning, but I think he's just saying, all right, I'll just push these pawns. If the rook ever checks, it's a free pawn for me. The rook has to stay here basically the whole time, and then it's going to be over. Yeah. 2 connected pawns is too much, so Bernadski resigns, and Grishuk wins the game. What about Firouzja? He's got 1 extra pawn. Can he convert this? Naka versus Grishuk waiting room. Yes, black painted. We can't wait for that. At least I know I can't. I don't know if it's going to be happening next round. Probably not. But if these guys keep winning, we will see that game eventually. Check. Can I take it? I can just take it. No? Ah, it's very nice. Rook g3. Wow. Holy cow. What a nasty. Because king f3, the nastiest part is that you can't even like decide not to take it. You're in a box. You're actually like in a mating box. So after e4, you must take it. And then this is forced. I mean, that's something special right there. That's a very nice finish from Firouzja. That endgame should not normally be winning. Definitely not. How did Tang do? It looks like he won his game against FIDE Master from the UK. The games are sort of wrapping up here. I see Gadakamsky is also playing here. Ooh, is this a clinic? I can't wait to watch this endgame. Oof. Gada. Get that king to c5, check, king c5. This is going to be a nice game. It already is a nice game, I think. Is it winning? Should be, but okay. You're gonna go here. King c5. Can he win this position? That's what we want to know. Because right now it looks like when the king chases, this king follows. And this bishop just sort of sits on this diagonal. What does he do here? It looks like it should be so winning. So what? He's going to bring the king to f4 and then what? I don't see the next idea. Maybe bishop to g4. Bishop h3, bishop g4. Takes. Doesn't work. Okay, so we're going to get the same position we had before where the king is no longer stuck defending the pawn, and the bishop goes there. You go there, then the bishop can go back, or can go here rather, to h7. I don't think there's a way to do it. Bishop here. I'm waiting for the magic, but I don't see it. Bishop g4. How is he going to do it? Wow. Looks like black might be holding this. Looks like black may be holding this. It looks so like almost undeserved in a way because the pawn structure is so bad. But I think it may be just enough. He's gonna bring the king back to f4 now. He knows he has to put the bishop on h3, but that's way more than 50 moves to do that all over again. Yeah, that endgame looked good, but it was the last game in progress there. Looked good, but you know, looks are not everything, unfortunately. Wasn't able to convert that one. Yes, Gata is probably happy there's increment, that's for sure. Let's check out the round 4 because we have a lot of players on 3 out of 3. I'll update you on the standings just after this round as things sort of get more clarified. We still have a big pile up at the top. We got some big games in progress though. How about this one? Grandmaster Eric Hansen against Grandmaster Alexander Grishuk from Russia. That is a big matchup right there. I think Hansen is streaming his perspective as well. And we are currently in what I can only assume and we recognize is some theory here in the Ruy Lopez. Now, the other matchups to keep an eye on, I mean, we have Karu. Almost everyone at the very, very top seems to be winning all their games. We have Boris Grachev, 3 out of 3. Tomaszewski, 3 out of 3. Andrew Tang, 3 out of 3. Nepomniachtchi, Firouzja, Hikaru, Hansen, Grishuk. All these people on 3 out of 3. So, you know, what to say? It looks like a logjam at the top, and it means that the tournament is going to be very exciting when you have all the strong players doing well. There haven't been too many upsets at the very, very top. I'm just commentating Cruzo. That's right. Hansen's playing on the Chessbrah channel right now. His perspective. That's right, black painted. Hansen Grishuk after the move rook e8. I wonder if Grishuk is sort of initiating this idea of bishop d8 and potentially swinging that bishop to b6. I'm not sure. Not sure. Yeah. And then c5, bishop b6. I think c5 here. I guess you could also play c6 and try to use the actual diagonal rather than just rush with c5. Okay, so Eric's moving the bishop out of the way. I mean, you can follow up with a4, or rather the intention with bishop a2 was to play b4, no doubt. And after lending support to e5, Grishuk is probably just hinting that he may want to play the move d5. He may want to play d5. It seems like knight d4 could also be considered. One thing that's really annoying for black, though, is if white plays the move bishop g5, without this bishop covering, that move actually is really annoying for black. So I don't think you want to move the knight away, potentially allow bishop g5. Was this a Ruy Lopez? Yes, Chess Gremlin. It was. Rook c1. Hansen's down just under a minute here. So a bit of a time advantage for Grishuk. Not something I get to say very often, but that's one thing that Grishuk and the Chessbrahs have in common is that the time management has always been an issue. Okay, so bishop e3. Seems like a very balanced position. Black's played king h8, not only just getting out of this, you know, maybe also giving that knight another place to reroute to. But I have to say, I think Hansen has got a very, very, very decent position here. d5 is stopped. Knight d4, the bishop g5 move was annoying, but I think now knight d4 is much more of an option. As we can see, bishop g5, there is actually knight g8. Yeah, and that's one thing that's important. Because with the king on g8, bishop g5, there's nowhere for the knight to go. It's actually kind of annoying. But now bishop g5, there's this move knight g8, kick the bishop out. So I think he's going to play knight g8. There we go. And you have c5, takes. Doesn't look good for white after bishop c7, bishop c6. Everything is sort of blockaded there. This bishop is going to get kicked out, so you need the d2 square available. So moves like f4 aren't possible right now. Is Carlsen in? No, Carlsen's not playing in this edition of Title Tuesday. We're only in round 4 right now, so not even halfway. We still have just under 400 players in the tournament. I think we started with more than 400, so huge event here. f6, bishop back. If g6 is played, the knight has a few ways of rerouting. I mean, there's knight h6. There's also the idea of trying to get f4 in later. I think Hansen has a good position still. Knight takes d6. c5 next. Yeah. Just take that. I don't think you want to play bishop takes c5. Maybe you do. He's not going to take with the pawn. I think he's going to play rook takes. Actually, the annoying thing about rook takes is that black plays rook c8, and you notice how white's just not in time to move the queen and then get the rook over. That would be nice. The reason that I didn't expect this is because Grishook gets a pretty nice blockade with like bishop c6 and sort of doesn't have to worry about that side of the board anymore and maybe can focus on the king side. But let's not forget how strong this bishop is from a2. And with queen h5 coming, rook f1, I think Eric's actually trying to shift the attention over to the king side in a very good way. He's getting f4 before black can get any type of g5, knight g6 ideas. Rook f1 just looks solid. Looks very solid. Sometimes after f5, things can get messy, but it's got to be working for Eric here. Yeah, queen h5 and then sliding the rooks over is what I wanted to do. So rook f1 looks very logical here. f5 can also be a big idea because sometimes, then you just start launching the pawns up the board. Don't forget about this bishop. It is essentially impossible for Grishook to get rid of this, right? There's no way to challenge it. He's trying to get something going here with b4, some sort of counterplay, but even after that, there's no way to deal with this bishop. So even something simple like doubling rooks here could be very, very good. He's deciding to take. Probably going to take here. Or no? Queen g4 with bishop f4 coming. Okay, he goes back. That feels like it's a good transition for Grishook to get some space for his pieces, but opening the position, I mean, you can just never say that that's bad for the bishop pair. That will never be true. If rook f3, maybe queen back to c7 and trying to get the knight into e5. Knight h4. Grishook is now down to 20 seconds, guys, and 30 seconds for Hansen. This is going to be an exciting finish. There's rook h5 as an idea here, or queen h5. You know I'm addicted to these moves, guys. Rook h5, queen h5, because they threaten rook takes h7 mate with queen h5 coming. One of these two moves, followed by taking, and then the other piece going to h5, would be checkmate. So knight f4 can be played here, though. Okay, he finally trades that bishop off. That's dangerous. Very, very dangerous here for Hansen. That bishop trading off is probably the best news that black is ever gonna have. I feel like there were some knockouts, maybe not by force, but some good pressure to be put on the position when the bishop was still on a2. Now the question is, what is white going to play next? Rook d5? That looks good. Okay, he's just going to take it. I was going to say rook d5, bishop d6. White is definitely the one pressing here. Bishop d6, rook d5 maybe. Queen d5 also looks good. Okay, rook back, I guess. Knight f7. Moves are flying in here. Queen d5 looks good. He's got d4 next. Queen takes f5 is oh, it's not a threat. Sorry, the rook protects the queen. It's a move, but it's not a threat. I scared myself there. Down to 1 second and taking down knight d4. Hansen just blundered material there. Takes queen f7. It's still very tricky. You can take this pawn. Queen takes there. Ooh, Black did well in that sequence, though. But white is super safe here. Very, very safe. So if you can coordinate these pawns to start moving up the board, I think white is still probably doing okay. Time pressure, guys. I think we picked a good game to follow. This has been pretty exciting. D4 next. Maybe rook G3. Yeah, D4. Queen's gonna plant itself on D5 though. Yeah, this is annoying. This is very annoying. That queen on D5. If white can get a pawn there, it's all good. But if black plants the queen on D5 successfully, you get a little concerned. Ooh, this is nice. Black playing F5 was not ideal. Not ideal at all. He did not want to play that move. Rook E3. Oof. Queen D4. But Eric offered a draw, and Grischuk accepted it. That was a fun game. Wow. That was very close. It looked like Grischuk was not lost, but was worse. No question earlier. Hansen played very well, but then blundered in time pressure. I'll show you just the one. I don't know if it was necessarily winning or good, but the one idea that I had in this position was to play Queen H5. Because it seems to me that maybe not Queen H5, maybe Rook H5. One of these two moves. So first of all, if I do a nothing move, we can all see my tricky plan. I want to give a checkmate like this. And then knight to H4 seems to be dealt with by bishop F4, winning the knight. And if H6, I guess I thought, bishop takes H6 has got to be some sort of lights out move. Either rook takes and queen H5 or queen D2. There's queen E3 there. I don't know, guys. Those were just the crazy moves I was thinking of, but I thought rook H5 was Hansen's last chance to use that bishop. As soon as black played bishop E6, I thought that Grischuk had solved his problems, so to speak. But very fun game, very, very fun to watch. And a draw, kind of, not necessarily a fair result per se, but it seems like there would be nothing between the players. Hard fought game. Yeah, this one's just a draw here. Okay. You know what I would play, guys, right? Because it looked like white, by the way, pre-moved king c6. So, for all you tricksters out there, I would play c5. He was expecting king a7, king c6, take. I'd play c5 and hope for the pre-move, and then go off to the races. That's just, clearly the best move in the position is c5. All right. Who else is playing? There's only a couple games still going. This one looks like it should be a draw. Should be a draw for sure. We all know this is basically just the Philidor. Nothing much to see here. And so what we're going to see is black basically shuffle the rook here and here. And this works really nicely when someone has a g-pawn, because there's no breaking this. This is impenetrable. There's no rook here. Nothing works. So you can just shuffle for the rest. So it's good technique here by black. There's a lot of ways to draw, but shuffling the rook here is the simplest. There is no way to break through. There's no check to give. There's no tricky g6. There's nothing. So this is just a draw. And I think it's the last game in progress. Light Rider, I am going to bring you the standings. I was actually saying at the beginning of the round that I was waiting for this round to end before I brought those standings up. So here they are, just so you can see. I like to wait for a few rounds to go by so we sort of get a clear picture of the standings. But this is what we're looking at right now. Hikaru chased by, or not just chased by, but joining him up there in the sprinting pack We have Andrew Tang. We have Firouzja, Eduardo Iturzaga, Jeffrey Zhang, 4 out of 4. Boris Grachev, Gwenplan there. I see Aryan Tari rounding out the bottom of that group with a perfect score. And of course, the list just keeps going down. 3.5 out of 4. We see the likes of Hansen, Grishuk, Mkhitaryan, a lot of strong players. I am Rosen also there in 4 out of 4, part of that big group. So that's what we're dealing with right now. Let's take a look at the top game, which is Hikaru against Aryan Tari. Aryan Tari from Norway. You guys probably have heard of him. A great, talented young player, grandmaster from Norway, former world junior champion, and also just played in St. Louis, where Hansen was playing, where I was recently. So he just played in one of the strongest tournaments there. 91. It was a round robin tournament, so he's definitely been playing a lot of chess recently, a lot of high level chess. Naka as well just got off the U.S. Championships, of course. So everyone here is pretty fresh with some strong chess. That's right, Devious Coconut. Some strong players in there. Some strong players. Rook c1. So this knight e1, I mean, he wants to recapture, bring the knight to e3. You can decide to do that before or after playing e4. So a4 here wouldn't be very good because knight c5 hits that b3 pawn, but in general, it's normally what you want to do to stop b5. So Naka instead is probably going to be focused on knight d5 type of moves. There we go. Usually if you can't stop this move with a4, you go and play in the center like this. So now if e6 happens, I'm not sure if we would even see that. Probably the knight would just drop back, and he's saying, okay, well now your d6 pawn is weak. International master from Azerbaijan beat Nepomniachtchi. There we go. That sounds like an upset. We didn't get to see that game because honestly, the Hansen and Grishuk match was seriously entertaining. What's my ranked rating, if you don't mind me asking? I don't mind you asking at all. It's just under 2,500 at the moment. So obviously, I was over 2,500 to make the GM title. And I really haven't played too seriously since the Olympiad last year. So quite the time off for me. But I'll be getting back into action playing the Reykjavik Open, which is happening in just about a week or so. So that'll be my next tournament, trying to get back on the horse a little bit and take back some of that elo. But it's been a while off chess for me, so even commentating something like the Title Tuesday is good for my chess. Very healthy. Looking at some good blitz games. Queen d4. I mean e5 is a move, but I guess Naka wants to play then queen h4, but queen h4, king g7, king g7, maybe queen g5. Sometimes there's some knight f5 tricks to watch out for there. And if pawn takes, then queen takes d8, trying to get the 2 rooks and play that position. So he's going to go for this. I think queen h4, king g7, queen g5 is what Naka wants to play. And then the question is if knight e4 works there. Maybe he's trying to say it does. The other thing is that after king g7 takes, the queen is hitting the rook there, so he might find himself in some weird sort of pin. That could definitely also be the case here. I mouse slipped. Good to see you as well. Yes, I can check that one out. Thanks for the heads up there, Dradla. Definitely one to keep an eye on. Although, as I say that, did it just end? I was talking about the game between Jeffrey and Andrew. I feel like it just ended. Just saw it disappear. I think it just ended. Jeffrey just won that quickly against Andrew Tang. So Jeffrey's on 5 out of 5 right now. 5 out of 5. How about Rosen? How's he doing? 4 out of 4 is a great score for him. And we have to say, guys, that uh, for those that don't know, Rosen has just moved into the St. Louis Chesbrough Cave. Um, Hopefully that'll be a nice base for him as he's traveling around a lot, often in St. Louis. And clearly, moving into Chesbrough Cave has increased his elo. He's becoming more dangerous by the minute. No, of course I'm kidding. Not about him moving in, but about that being the reason for his success today. He's got a fairly good looking position here. The idea of getting the a5 with the knight here, and these pieces are not good for Turzhaga, but as is typical, you're gonna see the counterattack with f5, and this is how the Benoni style positions work. Takes, knight takes. Yeah, this bishop needs to reroute. So if the knight could have sort of reached a5, I would have liked the position a little more. Now, a5, bishop d7, this is not giving me a good feeling. In fact, I really would have loved to have seen a5 by white, because now I feel like bishop d7 is just really, really tough to meet. Queen a1 drops the knight. Rook b2 defends the knight. And after bishop takes, you still can't take, though, because you're in a pin. Yeah, doesn't look good for Rosen here, I have to say. Somehow in the last couple moves, the Turzhaga's position really did flip around there in his favor. How is Hikaru doing against Tari? It seems like he's... Is he winning with a knight f5 tactic? Let's go knight e7. Knight e7, there's queen takes e5. Maybe he's winning here. F6, check. Ooh, okay. Tari with a nice move there. King g6, and now, okay, rook takes d5, and, well, not that anyone is really better, but if anyone is better, maybe it's black. It's just a draw, though. We'll put the rook on b2. Yeah, takes. Rook down. Okay, just complete draw. Nothing happening here. If I was black, I would play f4 and king f5. Yes. Yep. Gotta be... I mean, maybe Naka is going to find just an effortless way to draw this, but it doesn't look simple to me at all. There's going to be f5 here. Oh, okay, take it. Yeah. Black is better. No question. f5, rook here. King g4 takes h4. So king g3, or king f3, there's rook g3, so Naka definitely messed that one up there. Can he do something here, though? Can black do anything to win? It's crazy. Naka sometimes messes up, but then he plays so quickly in the resulting position that you never feel like you even had a chance. It's like, hey, wait a minute, I was supposed to be better there. All right. And is Naka getting out of this? It seems like black is very, very close to winning. Probably winning, I have to say. It just feels like the king and the pawn are not close enough to being up the board. Rook back, f2, check, king here, and then h5. What? Huh? Rook e4 stalemate trick? I mean, what? Hello? Rook.exe has stopped working. Nakamura has left the chat. I don't know what that is. That doesn't look like any type of mouse slip. It doesn't look like any type. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I actually don't have an explanation. Because I don't see where the rook could even be going. It's okay, but the point is that if you played here, we can just look at the endgame. Here, this doesn't work. You got to give a check. If you play king here, there's rook g1, so I figured h5 would be the move, but You're never going to be in time here, I don't think. H6 loses to rook there, and here, I mean, it's just not even close. That's just checkmate. So yeah, it's completely lost. So I don't know what that move rook e4 was, but it doesn't really matter because no matter what it was, it seems like Tari was going to easily win that endgame. But some miscalculations earlier from Naka because that was just a dead draw. But like I said, when I was watching, I was like, it's a draw, but if anyone can win, it's actually going to be black. And turns out I was right. That's exactly what happened there. Not a game that Naka is going to be happy losing because it's just so it's so dead even that those always feel the worst. So Naka's not going to be happy about that. Usually it takes a pretty good a game to take out Naka. Rook f5. This one's a dead draw. This is Grishuk here. Sadly for him, it doesn't look like, yeah, it's going to be a draw there. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to get a win on the board. So that's 2 draws in a row for him, slightly falling off the lead there, which is actually being posted by a few players. And I'll bring the standings up just after the round. Okay, rook b4. Bishop f4, bishop e5. Black has all the winning chances here because h3 is the next move. So I think rook h8, yeah. Yeah. So if white moves the rook here, there's h3. So you got to move the rook up. And now the bishop covers b8. So I feel like, okay, does he want to give a check here? There's king c7, though. I don't think that's scary. Rook h8, I would play. Okay. Maybe rook b3. Okay, bishop f4 is going to be played next. I think white should just bring the bishop back. I don't know why he's thinking. There we go. Got to guard that pawn. Okay, bishop there. Now you got to be real careful. Yeah, I was going to say rook h8 doesn't work the same way anymore. Bishop's covering that square. If rook h8, what are we doing? Rook h8, rook b5, and then rook back to h7 has to be played. King there? I don't know why he gave that check. That seems unnecessary, but okay. Okay. Yeah, maybe this is just a draw, but I have to say black probably has some ways to try to win that it doesn't feel like he's playing here. Yeah, no, I don't see anything. Maybe king g2, just throw the king down there. King g2, just to change the position if you want to keep trying as black. Otherwise, we're going to have a threefold repetition pretty soon here. Okay, they're going to offer and agree to a draw. Yeah. And this looks completely winning for white. There's no way. There we go. That's game over. And is that the final game? No, this is the final game of the 5th round here on this title Tuesday for April. Night. No, I mean this is not anywhere close to winning. Nothing really happening here. You can dream of trying to play g4, but it's just not going to work. The only way you win is some sort of knight fork, but there has to be a lot of cooperation for something like that to work. A lot of cooperation. Knight f6. Don't know what he's going to try here. But yeah, anytime the pawn moves forward, you just take it. So let's play bishop e2 or king h3, sure. Yeah, there's just really nothing Nothing happening. He can play knight g4 and wish his opponent would take, but that's not going to happen. So we're waiting for this game. We are sat here waiting for this game. I think that someone can probably claim threefold pretty soon. By someone, I mean white, because black is probably never going to claim it. There we go. There we go. Well, actually, that's quite a serious rating differential. I didn't even pay attention to 1700 because I saw a CM, and I didn't expect a CM to be lower than 1800 Blitz on chess.com. But that actually is a pretty serious imbalance there. All right, these are the standings, guys. Near the top of the table here, we have Eduardo Iturrizaga, who's been having a very, very good recent month or two from Venezuela. 5 out of 5. We have Boris Grachev, Gwenplan, Jeffrey Zhang, 5 out of 5 here. Aryan Tari as well. Just beat Hikaru on 5 out of 5. And then Robbie Kavlashvili and Lenis93. I know Robbie. I'm not too familiar with Lenis93, but they're also on 5 out of 5 there. If you sort of scroll down the list, you can see Rosen, Hikaru, 4 out of 5. Yeah, you can see some of the names you recognize there. Shimanov, Indian Elephant, Gadam Bailey, Dorbelli, Grishuk, Firuja, Tomaszewski. So a lot of players at 4 out of 5. But let's get back into the games. A lot of players at 4 out of 5. Let's check the top match though. It's Aryan Tari again. We have to, got to pay attention to him after his last game, taking out Hikaru at the top of the table. And after knight takes c6 here, we're going to see bishop d7. And that's how black is not just going to have a terrible structure. Knight takes bishop d7. So we have here Boris Grachev playing with the white pieces. What's happening after bishop f4? Somehow this looks really annoying. Maybe he should have played queen a5 immediately. Because playing it now after stutter stepping with queen c7 doesn't look right. Doesn't look right. Now, maybe it's okay because if you take, there's f6 and e5 to follow. So maybe you can argue that getting the bishop there is a good thing, but I disagree. I think he's going to try it anyway. He's going to play f6, e5, and bishop e6. No, he's a6. I guess I'm completely forgetting that bishop b5 is game over. No, this looks like a very bad opening for Tari so far. Yeah, castles. And is there any tricks on f6? I mean, like some rook d8 nonsense? No, probably not. Knight c4. Yeah, takes. I mean, you can play e5, but after bishop e3, the light squares are very weak. So he's not going to try to not allow that, but something as simple as doubling rooks looks very good. Bishop d6 looks very good. a4, a5. I mean, Tari's got a terrible position, I think it's fair to say already. Bishop d7, a5. So things look very good here for Boris Grachev with the white pieces. Let's take a look at Iturrizaga. We saw him briefly playing against Rosen, but other than that, we haven't seen too many of his games. This actually started off as some sort of English. And black, it seems like black would be happy with how it's transpired so far, except, is that just a pawn? I mean, are you just giving away a pawn there, Robbie? Doesn't look right. I thought that maybe he was just going to take there and not play rook b8, but no, if you play a5 here, rook e1, maybe king f2 here. Is king f2 insane? King f2 doesn't look that crazy. It does defend the pawn. I mean, king f2 looks a little crazy, but maybe it's playable. He decides to go for this move. And I guess what's going to happen next is knight takes, bishop c4 as an idea. Knight g5 is another move, but it seems like the d4 pawn is a little weak there. So this looks good for Eduardo, though, no question. This is an extra pawn he's playing with here. This is an extra pawn. So even if he loses it, I think he's still got a fine position. This bishop is strong from a7, but I think the f7 square is also a little dangerous. c5, yeah, I think Eduardo's got an extremely good position here. a4, bishop c4, yeah. There's e5, knight g5 ideas. I think white is much better. How about Jeffrey? Jeffrey, I mean, the guy is killing the tournament, and I feel like we just haven't been checking his games. Because somehow he's sort of flown under the radar here. And look at this, he's got, I mean, this is completely winning. He's got 2 connected pass pawns, just a4, a5 here. Game over. a4, a5 is completely lights out. I don't see any move, really, that black can do. He's going to bring his king over, but that's it. That's it. So, for example, a4, a5, a6, and if you go here, maybe I can do rook c8, but I think what he's calculating right now is that that doesn't work. But b6 looks like it probably does. Well, we know what he's calculating right now. He's calculating this line right here. I'm sure that it works, but he's decided to go this way. If king over a6, and now rook takes d7 is going to be winning with a7. Hey, Super Saiyan, how are you? The Phantom of Oz. Hello, guys. This is completely winning. Jeffrey is absolutely dominating the field right now. Very clean games, very quick games. Just take it and resigns. Takes, queen f8. Nothing to see here. Yeah, attacking all 3 pawns that you just can't do anything. I don't know why he's still playing. All right, well, we won't stay here because there's a lot of other games to look at, but yeah, Jeffrey just completely outclassed his opponent here. Let's get back to that game of Tari's, which looked so bad early on, but somehow, I mean, what the hell? He really got out of there. This is very impressive. This is very impressive. I don't even know how he's still playing this game. I thought the opening was really bad for black. But Tari is impressing. Rook takes, or rook a7 could be played. But yeah, if rook takes, then there's rook a2 check later. Gotta play king f7 here. Ooh, actually, can you play this? I was just gonna say, rook takes e7, and rook takes a6, bishop c7. Super nice move. Yes, and then take here and you're up a piece. Wow. Yeah, that's really nice. That rook takes e7 was the finesse move, not to take the rook first and then play bishop there, because then king f6 would defend. But actually doing it this way is just over. You're going to sink that bishop on that square. Probably look to try to take this pawn on c5 if you can. Rook h8, and then take that. There you go, and that's winning. I think Tari might resign here. As soon as you realize you lose that pawn, you don't even have h4. There's nothing to play for. Tari, after beating Nakamura, goes down here to Boris Grachev, and Grachev moves to perfect score, 6 out of 6. What happened here? I mean, whoa! I thought that Terzaga was going to win this one easily, but Robbie Kevashvili, very impressive. Turned this game around. I thought he was just down a pawn, but they ended up drawing this one later on. So great result for him. 5.5. Let's check out how Hikaru's doing, recovering after that loss. It looks like he's got a knight and 2 pawns here, so only Hikaru can win this position. Let's say that. Not that nobody else can, but that only Hikaru, compared to his opponent, and win this position, it looks like. White's way too solid, and he's going to win this pawn right now. Yeah. Rook f5 or rook g... No, not rook g5. Rook f5, knight g4, h5. Maybe rook g7. Well, now f7 falls with check. h5. Yep. This is game over. I think Naka is going to win this one quite easily. Knight f6 is just winning, I think. Rook here. Rook takes, knight takes, for example. If rook g7, there's rook f8 and rook takes g8 because the king is trapped in there. Otherwise, it's impossible to stop rook h7. So Naka bounces back with a win. Firouzja at 4 points probably needs a win here to really stay in contention for the top spot, and he looks like he's losing. He looks like he's losing here. Look at that king. Is he gonna go like this? It's kind of insane. This is all well protected. This pawn is hanging on d4 as well. Yeah, king d7. Yeah, he's gonna go for it. Trying to play queen h5 check. Oh, the rook's getting down. What the heck's going on here? Knight g7. Wow. What a weird position. King e7, maybe? Trying to play king f8? I swear king e7 is not crazy there. King e7 was probably a good move, guys. Queen b1 check. Wow. And then there's rook h8 coming after it. What an insane blunder. Rook h8. I mean, maybe black's still winning here, but this looks like a big blunder. Oof. Queen h7? Yes, queen h7. Oh my goodness. The blunders are crazy. Wow. He takes it, and he's going to play king f3? Yeah. I guess he's drawing this, but still. That's a crazy blunder. This should be a draw, though. Oh, hang on. That's a huge mistake. Queen c2 was a really bad move. Because there's no queen e4. The pawn is covering it. That queen e4 is the move he needed. Okay, and they're going to draw like this. Wow. Okay. Ooh, guys. I don't know. The tension there. Is he going to keep playing this? He's crazy. Wow. He's crazy. He's going to lose now. He's going to lose. What is he doing? He's going to lose. I mean, what am I looking at? What am I looking at? Yeah, walk that king up the board. Guys, I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know why he's playing on here. This is just absolutely madness. He's playing for the win, apparently. But, oh, take that, queen. What is he trying to do? A little bullet trick there? A little bullet trick or what? I mean, if you're blundering your queen, you're blundering your queen. But I don't agree at all with the last couple moves there. That's just insane, really. You got to just take that draw. Got to just take that draw. I think Eric is... Well, Eric's just losing. This is just... This is just the Lucena, plain and simple. This is just the Lucena position. Rook h7 is probably the fastest way to do it. Rook h7. Yeah, rook h6. If you bring the rook here, you just play king up, and I don't know what he's messing around with here, but that's much faster. You don't even have to build the bridge that way. Yeah. And that's it. That's it. That's the typical technique that you'll get. Let's take a look at those standings as we're going into round 7, and it's a very, very easy pairing that you can see developing there. Jeffrey Zhang, 6 out of 6. Boris Grachev, 6 out of 6. And then we can see chasing after them is a group of players there at 5.5. And then we got the likes of Naka, Grishuk, Andreikin, so many players chasing after that. So Jeffrey and Grachev, Boris Grachev, Jeffrey Zhang, these guys are on top of the tournament right now. And without further ado, let's take a look at that game. This is going to be big for the tournament standings right now. Are they going to draw? Is somebody going to pull ahead here? Okay, 92. Black wants to play bishop f6 and try to secure control of the dark squares in positions like this. Maybe he'll play queen c2, maybe knight e4, so take in knight e4. Depends how black takes back, but yes, this already should be fine for black. White gets the light squares, but black gets that nice c3 square. So we're in round 7 right now, and there's only 10 total rounds, 3+2 time control. I think so far we haven't seen anything too crazy. No major upsets other than Hikaru losing to Tari, maybe one of the bigger ones. But Hikaru is storming right back with a win last round, and we'll see if he can put another one together right now. Knight c5. I feel like very recently I saw Jeffrey play this position. I think that he just had this in a tournament game in St. Louis. It was a tournament that I was commentating on, which is why I kind of remember. Why I think I remember the games. But yeah, I think he just basically played this position, so it should be extremely fresh for him. What are the other big matches? We got Grishuk playing Jordan van Foreys from the Netherlands. We also have Nakamura playing Mikhail Bryakin from Russia. So two 3,000 plus players with some tough games. Both of them pretty much need to win at that point to stay in contention for first place. Hello, Johnny DJ. Great to see you in the chat, sir. We're here covering the April title Tuesday, and we got a ton of very strong players competing. Jeffrey Zhang's in the lead right now, 6 out of 6 rather, along with his opponent here, Boris Grachev, and that's why this game is so pivotal here. Black gets this knight d3 and knight c3 though. I mean, is there anything better than these two knights cemented on those squares? That's crazy. That's crazy. Black's position has got to be good here, unless knight d6, he's picking up the e4 pawn. Does he have to play knight c3 now? It just feels like it's got to be so good. So good if you can establish knight c3, but this is tricky. Knight d6, maybe we'll see knight c3 here anyway. Takes, and then after black takes back somehow, he'll be down 2 pieces for the rook, but it could be still playable. The thing is that if you don't do that, knight takes c1, I guess you could play. Knight takes c1, maybe then just queen takes c1 and look to take one of these after. Knight takes b7 can be played. Seems good so far. Bishop takes c8 is also a good move. So knight c1, bishop takes c8. Yep, he does play knight c3. I kind of expected this. Down a minute here is white already. So we'll have to see if that time difference really affects the outcome of the game. I expect it to. Another thing is that after bishop takes c8, if bishop takes, there might be knight e4, undermining the protection of this knight. And if bishop takes, rook takes, well then you could grab the rook. Yeah, so bishop takes, and I think if bishop takes, there's going to be knight e4, and maybe he tries to play that. Yeah, that looks good. Because remember, in this position, in this position, it's actually black who might be in trouble. Because white's up a piece right now, right? So you have to take it back, is what it looks like. Unless there are some really tricky moves with involving c2 and stuff like that, but I don't see it. If you take back the knight e4, though, I don't like this for black. This doesn't look correct. Knight takes c3 happens next, and I think Jeffrey might be worse here. Knight takes c3, bishop h3, though. Man, there's just always a counterpunch, isn't there? Always a counterpunch in chess. Right when you think you've got him. Knight c3, bishop h3. Wow. And then if queen f3 there, what are we doing after that? What are we doing after this? One sec. Yeah, queen f3 looks fine. Yep, which is why he went there. Now queen e2. Must be queen e2. I don't see why not. Knight c5 is probably going to be played. Queen c2 in order to pin the knight as well. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, with 16 seconds left, he's down more than a minute, but I think white might actually be winning this position right now. Yes, T. I couldn't agree more. Johnny DJ with a great stream yesterday. Is that a PCL backpack there? No, the one that you see behind me is a Twitch backpack. It's a Twitch partner backpack that I got at TwitchCon. But I've seen the PCL backpacks. If I'm not mistaken, they're made by the same company, which is why they look so similar. Yeah, I think this is just winning. He's going to play knight c5. He's going to have to trade queens. He can play bishop c4, but I don't think it helps much. Yeah, he's going to go knight c5. You can trade queens here. And then how is he going to proceed? Knight takes b3 spot. Who's Gwenplen? That's Boris Grachev. Boris Grachev, who's been kind of a top online blitz and bullet player for quite a while now. And he's got a great position here. He's just got 10 seconds, though. That's the only thing. Rook c8. Knight b3, rook c3, knight d4. And he's going to try to convert this position. This is a very, very nice pin. Oof. That might be it, guys. This might be the reason. Ooh, rook f1. This might be the reason that he has very good chances here to win. Yeah, this is not comfortable for Jeffrey here. Bishop e6. No, he's making room for the bishop. He's going to bring the bishop back. Rook c5, but white's got a great stranglehold on this position here. This is the counterplay, though. Bishop f1 and rook a2. How's he going to get out of that? How is he going to get out of that? That's the question. All right, bishop f1, right? And then I guess he's going to play rook c1. Yes, rook c1, nice move. Knight's covering the pawn, force this bishop back. And then maybe rook c7 or rook c8, depending. Rook c8 is nice, because of king there, maybe knight check. Now knight there, and we have knight f7 threatening mate. Ooh, did we not have knight there? That looked really good. I think knight d6 should have been played there. I don't know what he's threatening here, but this looks extremely incorrect. Bishop b5. Yeah, bishop b5. I think knight d6 was missed there, guys. This bishop c6, I don't see how white wins this. Wow, he's going to escape with a draw. Okay, so what I was looking at and I think was winning was knight d6 here. So knight d6, if you play... Well, there's no way to stop knight f7. So if you play like rook takes pawn, for example, then I thought knight here. Threatening mate in 1, only move g5 to get out. But then really nasty, h5, cutting that square, checkmate in 1. G6, H6, cutting that square, checkmate in 1, unstoppable. Looks really nice. So I have a feeling that that this was just missed, and knight d6 was a very good move because it felt to me like white should be winning that game. But Jeffrey escapes by the skin of his teeth, and that means they are going to be tied for first place with 6.5 out of 7, and a few other players are going to catch up. That's the nature of the tournament. If you draw, there's going to be a lot of other players that are going to be winning their games. So yeah, that really does look that does look good. Why is he not playing rook b3? Excuse me? Hello? Ooh. What? he bluffed him. he made him think that queen a5 was mate. But rook b3 pins the queen to the king. So I mean, he just bluffed him there. It's a tricky one. Yeah, tricky bluff. Black actually ends up getting the win anyway because of rook b3 with check, and then you queen anyway. So black ended up winning, which is probably the result that it should have been, but still, a little funny there. Kind of forgot that this actually pins the queen. Okay, getting close to the end of the round here. Let's take a look. Some of the remaining games. This one looks very, very drawn. What else do we have? Okay, this one just finished. This one looks like it could go for a while here. He's going to try to win. Try to win this position. But realistically, it should be a draw. He would love black to keep checking so that he can play rook f4. But it's fine. You just play rook there and then start checking from the sides now. Okay, or rook h1. Doesn't really matter. I think rook a1 would have made a lot more sense, but blunders make you feel better about your own chess. That's good. If you can extract some happiness from them, I think that's all that counts. Rook g1, king h3. I mean, I think I picked well. This game I knew was going to be probably the longest one. Wow. What a blunder. What a blunder. Is this winning? Yes. You just play rook check or rook somewhere, rook back to f4, get the king out. Should be very easy. h6. I don't think, I mean, just king g4, I think he's like overthinking it. h6, rook f7, sure, and just rook b7 here, and you get the king up like this. Yep. Finally, I believe he's identified the way to win. After king h5, just push this pawn here, and then when you get checked, you just run all the way down here until there's no more checks. That's going to be mate, so black's going to have to eventually go back, and then you bring your king all the way back. Sure, this works as well. Very nice. Making all my arrows look superb. All right, and this should be wrapping up. Is there the other game still in progress? Yeah, okay, and the other game is still going. Wow, I can't believe it, but that's pretty insane. He actually managed to win the bishop. I'm too curious, guys. I have to see. How the heck did he lose his bishop? we had this position, and somehow white lost his bishop. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. And then we played all this out. White lost his bishop early. So now we have rook and bishop against rook. We've seen some pretty insane blunders so far in this tournament. And is he just gonna lose now? Wow. Black actually won that position. He was ready to draw it. He was basically offering draws earlier. Wow. Okay. Well, here are the standings, guys. Take a look at them. We got 6.5 as the score here. Jeffrey Zhang, Mkhitaryan, Dreamist, Boris Grachev there, Robbie Kevlashvili having a great tournament. Hikaru is storming back, only half a point off the lead, and with 3 more games to play, the one that is in progress just at the moment, and 2 more after that. There's still a lot of time to come back, actually, with those 3 games. I see Anahita Golami here. When I see Golami, I think of the other player from Iran with that last name, and I'm wondering if that's if they're related. That's his younger or older sister or something. That's very impressive though. 6 out of 7. That's got to be up there in contention for the top female performance for sure. And yeah, you can see a lot of names you might recognize here with 5.5 points, but all the action is up there with 6.5 out of 7. So let's jump into the action. Take a look at what we've got here. First of all, Hikaru is he's playing a guy with 6.5 points right now, so he's playing one of the leaders, and he's going to be looking to play catch up here. The Berlin though, is that really the opening where you're going to do it? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Naka's going to outplay this, but it's going to, when he does, and if he does, that's going to be one of the most impressive things I've seen. Winning this position would just be crazy. But Naka does it all the time, so we'll see. We will see. As for the other games, which hopefully are more interesting, we have Jeffrey Zhang. Jeffrey Zhang here. And he came off what I would consider a fortunate encounter against Boris Grachev. I thought that he was worse. He ended up being fine. Okay, takes, bishop back to d3. Probably e takes on d5, yes. Bishop d3, bishop b7. And will he play for e4? I wonder. Probably not. Sometimes you can take an isolated pawn there and then just play against that c-pawn, but no, he's going to keep the structure more solid. No, there's no tie breaks. The prizes are shared. If you're wondering about the final distribution. But yeah, Jeffrey Zhang looks like his position is very good at the moment. Every piece seems to be working for him. Rook d1. Easy pressure. Knight c6 right now is a big move. Knight c6. This is a battle between 2 players leading the tournament. The other one to keep an eye on, and we will, is Robbie Kevlashvili, who's kind of having the tournament of his life so far. 6.5 here, and he's temporarily up a pawn. If queen takes g4, there's queen takes d2. Bishop d3 looks like the move I would play, or at least I would really consider, because it blocks the queen, sort of puts these pieces closer together, protects them all. I guess we'll see knight h6 after bishop d3, but then there's knight e4 as well. This surprises me. What? Knight a4. Weird. Oh, I was missing. I'm sorry. I was missing the whole idea. Bishop d3, then there comes queen h4. That's why. Because otherwise, bishop d3 is you play in a heartbeat, but queen h4 is really bad. That's like force mate. h3, queen takes h3. So there you go. Don't walk into force mate like me. Knight a4. The only reason he would do something like this, which doesn't look like the best move, is if he had to. So this makes sense. He's still got. He's gonna play bishop d3, I think. or bishop b3, but bishop d3 at least looks more aggressive, a bit better. Queen's covering checkmate. He's got that extra pawn though, so we'll see if he can hang on to that. Over here in Jeffrey's game, I'm really wondering what the heck is going on here, but like some sort of just developing g3, bishop g2. I mean, white's pieces look way better than black's. And is he? Yes, he's temporarily up a pawn right now. I say temporarily because it seems like the position's still a little messy, although what I really mean is that he's up a very, very clean pawn. Protected pass pawn, and this pawn on c4 looks weak as well. Bishop there, probably take. If I take here, that's not ideal. I'd never want to bring that pawn to help defend this one. So queen here, there's no rook c8. I want to take that pawn next. If c3, which may be played, in fact, I think probably will be played, then the idea would be to dislodge the knight from e4. Okay. Bishop still covering c8. It's actually doing a really good job. Rook d2 is not possible because of knight e4. We might see queen takes a2, and then I think white wants to play e4, e5, e5, get all these pawns going, maybe take on c4 after dislodging the knight. Some close games here. Still so hard to dislodge that queen. We'll see e5, yes. Knight b5, and then d5. Yeah, knight b5, d5. Not just taking here, and of course dropping the d pawn. There's just no way that would happen. But e6 played. This is just over. It must be over. Rook e8, d5 for d6. d5, rook c7. Can we take it? That's kind of a crazy move, but rook c7, can we take it to be flashy and then play d6? Maybe we could have. That looked like it might have been the move there. What about just rook d1 here, followed by d6? Oh, rook d1, rook takes e7, eh? Ah. Rook d1, rook takes e7. Tricky Mickey. Yes, tricky Mickey. Tricky Mickey. Cousin of Tricky Hickey. Speaking of Tricky Hickey, how's he doing? Wow, very impressive. Tricky Hickey is going to put a knight on d6, and black is probably the only one who can win an endgame where you've got such control of the dark squares. You got to work to get that because there's always going to be rook e6 ideas. But in these positions, you have to be so accurate with the white pieces that can be a little hard to do so consistently. Like white might be better here. In fact, maybe white is better here. But if you ever trade those rooks, all of a sudden black is the only person who can win that endgame. So we'll see. We'll see. What happened here? Oh my goodness. Another win for Robbie Kevlishvili. That's incredible, guys. The guy's on 7.5. He's going to be leading. We'll see if he's leading with anyone else, but that's very impressive. Queen g5, and I mean, he's just completely dominating. Yeah, that was just like a forced mate. Just a forced mate there. Wow. Impressive, guys. He's going to take out Boris Grachev, and let's get right back to the action here. Jeffrey Zhang has only got 7 seconds, and Mkhitaryan is making his life hell right now with all these tricky knight moves. Queen e3, just take it. Take the rook, d6. Wow, what a position. Does this work? It looks like it works with d7 coming. Gotta play f5 here. Oh, yeah, f5. Why isn't he playing f5? f5. It's the only move. g4? Or what is he gonna play? Yeah, f5 is just a huge move. Stops this idea altogether. Yeah, now this is over. Now this is completely winning. Mkhitaryan and Jeffrey Zhang is going to go down. Wow. Oh my goodness. That's over. He played with 0.00 on the clock. Yeah, it's over though. Completely winning. Wow. Mkhitaryan. Tricky. play. It looked so winning for Jeffrey early on, but I mean, there's a player who always seems to find the resources. Speaking of one of those players, here's Nakamura, and unfortunately for him, his knight is trapped. Is he actually going to be losing this? That's amazing. Really well played by White. That's incredible. He's losing here because his knight just can't get out. King f6, then he's going to take it. But he can play king e7, bishop g6. Yeah, and this knight is stuck. It just can't move. Okay, we can just take that. Take it this way, and then bring the king back. Wow. Wow. That must have been a clean game. As I said earlier when I was on this board, that white was probably better, but it would require usually more accuracy than is possible in a blitz game. After rook e7 here, rook takes, bishop g6. This is the killer move. This is the killer move. Trapping that knight 100%. Oof. This is really, really nasty. And then you can just never take. Wow. Dreamist with a pretty insane game there. Let's keep taking a look at the games ongoing. Firouzja, how is he doing? Okay, probably just a draw. He's obviously going to try to win, but not much to say here. Sorry, I didn't mean try to win. I mean try to hold. Yeah, not much to say here. This will just be a draw. Rook against knight is a draw. But I don't think either player is... yeah, rook takes g4 if you want to draw. It's funny because black offered a draw, and then, he doesn't play rook takes g4. So play rook g4. There you go. There you go. Firouzja has been doing some strange things this tournament. He might play a move like knight h4 here. You know what I mean, guys? Earlier we saw Firouzja lose a position because he was too proud to draw or something. Something that didn't make any sense. So he doesn't do that. Finally takes the rook. And we do have a draw there. We're coming to the end of round 8 right now. Let's take a look at the games ongoing. This one should be a draw, I think. You probably want your king up there, although it doesn't really matter. Yeah, the king, once the king comes back, it's too much. Now it's very easy. King up. All right, so we have a draw there. And who else is still playing? Ooh, there we go. We have our rook bishop against rook. The classic. We have white offering a draw. I don't know why you'd do that. Or I don't know why you would think your opponent might accept. That's the better question. Rook h4, rook g7, forced. Yeah. Okay, he's going to try to go the other way. Usually what happens here is you have a lot of success going this way because of check and winning the rook. So rook here. Why is he not going rook there? Rook here, rook here. He needs to be playing rook over here. And I don't know why he's not. Okay. He may still end up winning this, but I think there were some wins in that position. think there were some wins. Rook f1. Oop. Okay, I probably wouldn't play this way, but okay, now the king gets here, and it's maybe the same again. You generally don't want to have your king in the corner like this. This is not ideal. White offered another draw. I don't know when their 50 moves kicks in. I'm trying to figure out here. Okay. Oh. What move is this? 74. What? Okay, so 74 plus 50 is 124. And on move 124, this is the 124th move. Rook takes h7 was played. And because it's a capture, there's no 50 move rule. 50 move rule means 50 moves for you and your opponent. So he had 50 moves for white, but there's only 49 moves for black. So this is actually the saddest thing that you've ever seen. It was move 74, and we're at a move 124 now. But it was black's move. Rook takes pawn, if you remember. That was the 74th move. So it has to be black's move on move 124 to claim the draw. And that move was a capture again. So you cannot claim it. In fact, when I was at the St. Louis Chess Club, I was giving a lecture. It's on their YouTube channel. It was on my greatest losses. And I told a story about how I lost a game by trying to claim a draw in this endgame because the 50th move for my opponent was him capturing a piece. And exactly like this, it was almost identical. Almost identical. We're in round 9, guys. I won't bore you with sad stories of my failed endgames, but I had the exact same thing as this guy. So I feel his pain. I feel his pain. Let's take a look at the standings, guys. Let's take a look at the standings. We have Dreamist beating Naka, moving to 8 out of 9. Mkhitaryan also winning against Jeffrey Zhang, 8 out of 9 as well. Robbie Kevlashvili having an insane tournament, 7.5 out of 8. Or sorry, I should say these guys were 7.5 out of 8, and obviously they just drew each other, which is why they're 8 out of 9 right now. So these guys already finished their game. Just they said, okay, quick draw, whatever. Robbie Kevlashvili can join them in first place with a draw or take the lead with a win. And these are the guys chasing with 7 points. But once you get down to 6.5, you're pretty far off the lead. And remember, there's this round and then only one more after that. So let's take a look at Robbie Kevlashvili because this guy is going for the top spot here. He's going for the top spot, and already it kind of looks like, Oh, looks like Robbie Kevlashvili was having too good of a tournament. I was gonna say that didn't make sense for a sec, but it looks like Robbie Kevlashvili was having too good of a tournament. That's what it looks like to me here, boys and girls. Because yeah, the guy was just killing everyone. So I'm sure that chess.com is just looking into it and under grounds of fair play. But that stuff happens. Let's move to another game. Who's actually in the standings? I wanted to take a look at Gadden Bailey. Let's find his game. Is he playing? Where's his game? Can't I find his game? Is he finished already? Oh yeah, he's finished already. Man, there were so many quick draws in this final round here. Gwenplen and Konovets. There we go. This is the important match here to take a look at. This is the one to take a look at because Konovets, Samuel Sevian, who just played in the U.S. Championships, for those that don't know, he, with 7 points and a win, can move up to 8 And that would actually put him in a tie for first. In a tie for second, Gwynplaine, Boris Grachev, he could also, with a win, move up and do that. Although, in this position, geez, this looks like it's kind of an interesting position because Gwynplaine is up material. He's up an exchange for a pawn. But black has the two bishops and a very, very solid structure. I mean, knight takes f4. If only we had another rook on a8 ready to take back. He's threatening ideas like knight takes f4 and queen to d6. Maybe even if you lose your rook, those ideas look like they could just be winning. Yeah, queen d6. Maybe he'll play. Don't think you can play knight takes f4 right now. Okay, knight e2 back, and then bishop b5. And this could be seriously bad for Gwynplaine already. I think black, these minor pieces are so well coordinated here. Bishop on h1 basically doesn't exist. It's playing chess 960. Looks like a great position for black. Knight takes f4. I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how to stop it. Maybe king g1. But then there's knight g3. I don't know. This looks very, 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 very bad. King g1 played. Knight takes f4 could still be played, but now he's not on that diagonal, that dangerous diagonal. Does he still want to play this, I wonder? What's so annoying for white is that you can never play knight e2 because of bishop b5. So now he's really forcing him to play this, right? Takes. How is this not just winning for black? Yeah, this looks completely over. Has to. So there's a couple ways to do this. The thing is, whenever you play f4, white's going to sack probably here. So knight takes h3, followed by f4, or knight takes here, followed by f4. I think all of those are going to result in the same thing. What you could play is f4, king here, knight, queen h4. Hang on a sec. Knight g1 check, please. And the king doesn't have anywhere to go. Oh no, hang on a sec, guys. I blundered, not him. I was going for the brilliancy prize, where he had probably already calculated that. Knight g1. There's queen takes g1, failing him out. So that nice tactic didn't work. Didn't quite work. So his move was probably the best then. Knight takes d5. He's up more than a minute. I think he's going to join the leaders and make for a very exciting final round here with 8 out of 9 points. The games are actually finishing really, really quickly this round, I have to say. A lot of quick draws. Queen d1, I mean, hardly even close here. There's going to be rook g3 next. If king c3, and if king back, there's bishop d3. So actually just destroyed Boris Grachev here, did Samuel Sevian. Chess Gremlin, he didn't resign that game. Usually what happens is you get kicked. Nobody's resigning those games. That's not usually how it works. All right, so he's joining the leaders here. Let's look at some of the games still going. We got Hikaru losing. Wow, Hikaru went down in this game too? Okay, Hikaru's on the tilt train, guys. I know that train oh so well. Believe me. I know that train very, very well, but it looks like he goes down here for like the second or third time in a row or something. Not in a row, but in the tournament, he lost to Tari, lost to Dreamist in a nice game, and then went down in this one as well. Okay, so Nepomniachtchi finishes that game off because g4, there's queen f5, and king h4, there's queen h6. So Nepomniachtchi finishes this game off. He has 7 points. Not good enough to contend for first place, but we have a pile up there at the top of the table at 8 points. And I'll just get to the standings after this round is over. Rook e7 next, I think. It's going to bail him out. Or sorry, rook takes c2, and then there's no checkmate because you can take the pawn. Yep. Take that bishop. And not much to see here. Not much to see here. Okay, push. You go there, there's king g3. You check, there's king g2. So he's going to take it and take that pawn. Yeah, this is completely winning. This is completely winning. Yeah, we're done 9 rounds, but one thing to remember about Title Tuesday is it is a 10-round tournament, so we do have one more game where everything is going to get decided. And we have 4 people at the very least tied for first place right now. We'll wait till the end of this round to see, but I think we should have a 4-way tie for first, and then a lot of people chasing at 7.5 out of 9, but this 8 out of 9 score with 4 people tied, I think all of those players are going to be contending for the top places in the tournament. This game is over. This game is definitely over. Tomaszewski, how's he doing here? This is a tricky game because with that one pawn, it seems like actually black is the one with maybe the winning chances. I don't know. King c6 now though. Check. There, okay. Here, queen d2, rook there. Queen check, king b6. You're running out of checks. And there you go. d2, d1. I think this is going to be black winning the position here. There's nothing to do. You just have to play for checks. You got to try to draw, but it's not going to happen. King can hide pretty nicely up the board here. And you can use your 2 rooks to shelter you from the checks, as well as hide behind this pawn. So king e3 looks basically forced. Queen e4, there's king f2. Don't know why he's thinking, but yeah, king here. Got to play queen d1. And then king f2 can be played. There's also just simply rook here, followed by queening. King f2 looks like it could be a good move, though. Okay. If rook there's queen b3, so he might play rook d3 first. No, he just goes for this. He knows that the king can hide down here, so queen b6, king e2. Slowly gonna get down in there. Okay, he goes king f2 after any of these checks, so he's fine. Yeah, and Tomaszewski goes down, so I feel like near the end of the tournament it's just been like upset after upset. And, you know, of course, we can't have a Title Tuesday without a rook against bishop, right? that would be crazy. Of course we need this. Of course we need. He blundered his bishop. He blundered his bishop. Oh my goodness. So the rook beats the bishop this time. At least he blundered the bishop so we didn't have to sit here for another hour. But that feels bad, man. Wow. All right. So that is the end of that round. We're going into the last round. This is how the standings look right now. So we have Dreamist, Mkhitaryan, Malloy 07, and Konovets. And you can see there, even as I'm mentioning the standings, that they had a quick draw. 2 Russians, Malloy 07 and Dreamist, 8.5 out of 10 apiece. Mkhitaryan and Konovets, I'm sure, are going to be playing their game. We'll see if they agree to a quick draw. Not sure. But then chasing behind them, Gadim Bailey, Kamsky, Vovaches, Vasily Korchmar. All of these players, if they win, can get 8.5 points, which ties with Dreamist and Malloy up there at the top. So those are how the standings look right now. But we'll get into the most important game, which is going to be Konovets and Mkhitaryan, this game is for all the marbles. I don't know if they know, maybe they're paying attention, but there's been a draw in the game between the other leaders, so the winner of this game wins Title Tuesday outright. The winner of this game wins the whole tournament outright. I'm not sure if that will motivate these guys or whether they'll say, oh, they drew, we can draw as well. I'll take a share of the money. But the more you share it with, the less there is to take home. To Mkhitaryan, Bishop e6. This is the line that's been really popular lately, which is the h6 g5. Started as a Gioco Piano here, the Italian game, but this is a way to deal with that pin. And although you give up a lot of light squares and sort of weaken your king side, you get a very aggressive game usually. Sometimes this knight can swing around to g6, king g7. You'd love for white to take on e6 and open up the f-file for you. Meanwhile, white would love to get a knight to e3, maybe look at some of these light squares. Yeah, both Armenian, but I have a feeling that Sam Sevian, he just loves to play chess. Probably not interested in a quick draw, but hey, I could be wrong. I'm not sure. This is the rotation that I expected here. That knight maneuver, getting to e3, trading the light square bishop without allowing the pawn to get there, and then controlling the light square. So this makes sense to me. Mkhitaryan, Konovet, still even on time. Still even on time. I don't know where, Hikaru fell off in this tournament. I didn't see Hansen after a few games. Probably suffered some losses. I am Rosen also. We saw him near the top there, and then haven't seen his name anywhere close for a while. So I feel like a bunch of people dropped right off in this tournament, as it is very easy to do. It's hard to play that good consistent chess for so many rounds, right? It's a 10-round tournament. Knight takes a5, h5. Okay, so here's the counterattack. He lost the a5 pawn, but he's saying, all right, you have to go spend time taking it. While your pieces are over here on the queen side, I'm pushing on the king side. h4 played. With g4, there's knight g5. There's also just maybe moving that knight d2 or something like that. What about Sasha? Yeah, Grishuk also. He's doing decently, but for the standards that we have to hold Grishuk to, he's probably not doing as well as he could. He has 7 out of 9. So even if he wins here, he's only going to have 8 points, and all the players in question right now in this game already have 8 points. So he can still finish very well, 8 out of 10, but Grishuk probably won't be the happiest without being able to even contend for first place in the final round. Kamsky right now has 7.5, so his game is important still. He can tie for first place potentially if some results go his way. He definitely can. Kamsky's game is still very important, but this one right here is the one to watch. As this, if there's a winner in this game, then that person takes home the entire tournament. Queen g5. He's looking to play rook g8. Let's not forget about that bishop on a7. Knight e3 is probably going to be played by Sevian here. d3. And you can't quite play h4, I guess. Yeah, he's going to try to keep the knight on f4 with tactics. So if knight e3, you can just take it, and queen takes g3. That pawn will be hanging. That pawn will be hanging. So queen takes b7. Wow, I have a feeling that Sevian could just be getting mated here or something. How the heck is he going to survive this? h4? h4, maybe he's going to play g4. So he's just saying, buddy, I'm going to take all your pawns. That's all I'm going to do. That's my plan. White always has to move d4 to disconnect the bishop from the king side. It's at the cost of a pawn, but that's irrelevant because white is winning so many pawns here. Yeah, he plays h4. I was wondering if he was going to play g4, but no, he's just going to take first. and take, it looks like. So if takes, you take check, king g7, and then there's rook g1. Because you pin the queen to the king, and even though it can be taken, you take back, you should win material there. And takes, queen d6. There's no knight e6 because suddenly that rook is open now, so that knight will be pinned to the king. Knight e6 played first. I don't think it matters though. Just take here. I think we have to take there, right? So is he going to try a rook d8 move? Yeah, I think he's going to throw rook d8 in. You got to stay pinning that knight, but at least now there's no queen takes e5. If you take though, take back is check. That is check. Very annoying. Sevian, he he just took all the pawns, right? He called the bluff. He said, you know what? I'll take that. If you take on g3 here, white takes back with check. And this is just completely lost for black now. Queen comes back to e3. It's game over. Mkhitaryan is going to go down, and Sevian is going to take the Title Tuesday tournament for April outright. 9 out of 10 points. He's up almost a minute and a full piece, and don't forget, like, 4 extra pawns. So completely winning. Queen takes g3 or queen takes g5, and that's it. That's it. King g2. Just nothing happening here. King g2, rook h3, knight f3. Just to calculate the final things out. Okay. He's going here. Probably my king g2 ran into knight e4, which is just so unnecessary. So he doesn't want to allow it. He's up a piece here. Knight, not knight d6. b3 could be played. Oop. Probably mouse slipped as well, which isn't going to help him. Mouse slipped rook b2. Not the worst. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Yeah, this is just over. He's allowing rook takes g3, which maybe doesn't need to be, but I don't think he needs to be too precise when he's up as much material as he's up. 6. Yep. Knight h4. And then rook f5 is going to be mate. Going to lead to mate. Here. Maybe king h3. Lots of mates coming up here in this position. Rook h8 leads to mate in 2. There we go. Rook f4, and that'll do it. And as I mentioned, Sam Sevian, kind of a come-from-behind victory. We actually never saw him at the very, very top. It was only this round where he was tied for first going into the final game, but he was always just half a point below and actually climbed up every round, kept those wins coming in, and that's going to be a tournament victory for him. Gadakamsky can still tie for everyone who's going to share that second place prize, but Sevian with a come-from-behind victory, extremely impressive, came out of nowhere really. Gadam Bailey looks like he's going to be the one tying for second place, though, as probably the end game is winning. Yeah, takes. Should be winning, I would expect, for white. f4, king f3. Put the king on, what, h3? Maybe that was a little hasty. Bishop e3 now. Ooh. Did you have to play bishop? Maybe he made a little bit of a meal of it. I don't know if rushing f4 needed to happen there. But only white can win. It seems like he should be able to. Okay. How do you do it here? King f3, g4, bring the king to f5, but there's still not a win there. Bishop d2. Now, how do you make progress? So, yeah, well, how do you make progress here? Because king takes f6, bishop takes f4. And, wow. Looks like Kamsky found a way to hold a draw here. It means neither of these guys get any money, actually. That's what that means. And everyone else gets more money. But, it's still a very good result for Kamsky. Yeah, this is over. Bishop g5. Yeah, I mean, you can defend the pawn from anywhere. It doesn't matter. Probably was winning before. Probably it was winning before, but now it's just a dead draw. Yeah, nothing happening here. King can always go back to h6. Bishop covers g5. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as long as you don't let anything weird happen, like white advancing his pawns, it's just, yeah, this is all but drawn. So the games are starting to wrap up. It seems to me that 8.5 out of 10 for the two Russians, yeah, drawn by agreement, is going to be, they're going to be the only two players with 8.5. So the standings look all but determined. We'll just wait for the tournament to wrap up. Here we go. We got a rook and bishop against rook. Let me see what other positions we have. We got some endgames that could go for a while here. Could go for a while. Queen e2. What the heck? That's the worst mouse slip you could have had. Queen f2, no doubt, was the intention. But that's terrible. Rosen, to finish off, is playing basically rook against bishop. Except there's this extra pawn. I'm not sure if it helps or hurts. Black here probably doesn't help. Doesn't help that much. Yeah. King f3, I guess. King h1. And what's going to happen here? Bishop has to move. You can go anywhere, basically. Bishop e1, bishop b8. I think everything's good. Ooh. That's interesting. I guess that works, yeah. I guess that works. I don't think you had to take that bishop, though. I think you could have played rook c2. Maybe that would have been better. As white, just to play on if you wanted to try to win. Because now this looks forcing. Mm-hmm. Yep. So that one's going to be a draw. And then it means the only game ongoing is this rook and bishop against rook. It's a very similar position to the one we saw last time. And the person with the rook actually lost. If we remember... Oh, now rook g2 has to be good, no? King g3. This is lost. This is dead lost. Rook h2 and rook h1 mate. Yep. That's game over. You don't want to be in the corner. You really don't. That's just not good. So the tournament's over, guys. We will probably see it pop up any second. There it is. There it is. The final standings. I'll show you in just a sec. But as you can see, top three places there. Konovets. That's Samuel Sevian, Grandmaster, Armenian Grandmaster, but from the U.S. Malloy 07 and Dreamist. The two Russians drew each other in one move in the last round. Turned out to cost them quite a lot of money as they missed out on that first prize. And there are the overall standings. You can see 8.5 points was needed for a podium finish there. Gadin Bailey, Kenan Gareev, Vovaches, Candidate Master having a great tournament, 8 out of 10. Aryan Tari snuck in there with 8 points. Gada Kamsky as well. Mkhitaryan, lost in the final round to Sam Sevian, which is why Sevian won the tournament. So he's down to 8 points as well. We had Nepomniachtchi, Robson, and Andrew Tang sneak up to that 8-point mark. And then after that, there's just tons and tons of players in the ocean down below that, trying to climb into that top group, but not quite. 9 points was required for first place in this tournament, 8.5 for second place, and pretty tense down to the wire. I was saying it just never seemed like Sam Sevian was in the top contention, and then all of a sudden he was, right. Like he just came out of nowhere. I think in the last couple rounds, he really put together some wins in a row. We had guys like Naka dropping off. Um, I think it's fair to say that Naka losing as many games as he did is so uncharacteristic for him in these title Tuesdays. But that's very impressive. Sam Sevian, 9 out of 10. I don't even think he lost. He probably had a couple draws. Um, Probably had a couple draws in his games rather than losing. So it's probably an undefeated performance as well, which is just crazy. So played some seriously strong players today. We saw some exciting games. We saw probably more people win the Rook and Bishop against Rook than lose. I think that's probably fair to say. Uh, we saw some of the most horrendous blunders. I don't even. It's just insane some of the moves we saw. Sevian lost round 2. That's why I never saw him at the top there, Doc. Thanks for the update. So it wasn't an undefeated performance, but it almost makes it more impressive because when I say he had a comeback victory, I didn't know it was that serious. Losing in round 2, that's why I never saw him at the very top of the table, but he was always half a point behind, coming back. So that is very impressive. We saw some good chess today. We saw some bad chess. Of course, you can expect that from Title Tuesday. Overall, though, I hope you guys enjoyed. I know Eric was streaming his perspective at the Chess Bra channel. That's where I stream, along with Grandmaster Eric Hansen. So if you haven't checked us out, you don't know about that channel, hopefully you guys, go over there. We'll be streaming usually almost every day. Twitch.tv/chessbra. You can find me pretty much everywhere. Adamon Hambleton on Instagram and Twitter, and we're releasing like YouTube videos and all sorts of fun stuff on the Chess Bra channel, as well as streaming on Twitch. So if you don't know about that channel and you're just watching now for the first time, that's where you can find more of me. But yeah, I hope you guys had some fun today. I know I did. That was a very, very strong tournament, as I said right at the start. But what's crazy to me is that all those strong players that I listed at the beginning, I don't even see them in the top 10. So you know that this was an exciting event. Like, I don't even see any like Nepomniachtchi, Andreikin, Nakamura. Like, I don't see any of these players in the top 10. Reshuk, crazy. So there were a lot of upsets today for sure. If all those like super grandmasters that I just listed are not even to be found in the top 10 at the end of the day. So it was fun. A lot of upsets, big results. Congrats again to Sam Sevian with a tremendous performance, only losing 1 game and winning 9 others. I mean, he won 8 in a row. That's insane. We are going to be sending the host or the raid rather to Levy Rosman over at the Gotham Chess channel. But for now, that's going to be all for me. So stay tuned. We'll have a brief, very brief, so brief break right now, and then hopefully you guys stick around for more chess today as we send you guys over to the Gotham Chess channel. But that'll be all for me. Thanks for watching. You know where to find more of me, and otherwise stay tuned for more fun chess today. Thanks guys, and bye for now.